How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. Not just any review, a little bit of side-by-side. A little bit of Land to Grand Brewing, new brewery time, so side-by-side and new brewery time. That doesn't suck. In the form of their Hazy IPA. We have here, on my right, your left, is their Land Grant Concentrate Hazy IPA. The ABV on the sucker is 7.5%, and this, my friends, is, where is it? Mosaic, and Cryo Citra, and Cryo Simcoe. So new school, a little bit, Simcoe and Mosaic, those are very new school hops, but I don't know, some old school beers with those kind of hops. And in this one over here, we have same exact ABV, and we have a bunch of hops I'm not all that familiar with. Pacific Gem, okay, Mosaic, absolutely, Cryo Laurel and Cryo Centennial. So Laurel, not super familiar with that, but Centennial, Mosaic. So what are we thinking? You're talking about Mosaic, Citra, and Simcoe, two of those being cryo, fruity, tropical fruits, a little bit of cappy, a little bit of kind of bittering component on that one. And this one, honestly, I don't know much about Pacific, a Gem or Laurel, but you're talking about Mosaic and Centennial, thinking come off a little bit spicier. But I know Centennial can come off a bunch of different ways. Kind of gets a rap as an old school, your C's kind of hop, and for good measure, but I know people can make these in the kind of juicy, hazy jam, so I'm kind of curious to see how this one kind of shakes out. These comes courtesy of Brandon from Ohio. Thank you very much, brother. He shot me off a bunch of Ohio love, and kind of excited to dive into these, because new brewery, new beers. Let's dive into these suckers. So, yeah. Do the patented Massa Beer Reviews classy double pour, and we'll see where we end up. Look at that. It's like I'm born to do this shit. One there. And one there. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought the Centennial one, just because of my way my brain works, was going to come off darker than the Mosaic Citra one, Simcoe one. But it's slightly, ever so slightly darker over here. It might not even be darker. It might be just slightly more hazy over here. So it's kind of give you that kind of illusion of being a bit more darker. But yeah, perceptually a little bit darker over here. This one, heads are very similar in color. Again, just maybe a micron darker over on this side of things. And there tends to be a little bit more stragglers as far as kind of non-compact type bubbling over here. So they look very similar as far as looks. Let's get a nose. Yeah, I'm getting a soft, like, custardy fruit thing over here. Did not expect that. Yeah, it might actually be a bit of diacetyl kind of mess with me, giving me a little bit of those butter vibes that come off for me. So, getting a soft, kind of buttery, kind of diacetyl thing, with a little bit of soft bittering and a little bit of minty kind of evergreen over here. If anything, fruit-wise, leaning a little bit of kind of an overripened tropical fruit, leaning in the kind of kiwi variety, unsweetened overripened. I know that kind of oxymoron on that one, but yeah, nice nose, unique New York kind of nose. Let's see if I can get through this one without spilling the rest of this beer. Mystery beers come in handy, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, let's get a nose. Really, a much lighter nose than this one. This one, like I was getting a soft diacetyl vibes, buttery diacetyl vibes, along with that little bit of soft custard kind of tropical fruit thing. Not really getting much of anything over here. Let's see. Over here we have, it looks like I'm trying to find a date for you fellas. Yeah. It looks like it's some kind of internal code on that. I actually don't see a date on it. But, yeah, it just smells... It smells like an IPA. Who would have thunk it? Yet really not much distinction on this one. This one definitely has the lead as far as the nose goes, but it doesn't smell bad. It just doesn't smell unique. Let's dive into the green version over here. Cheers. Ooh. Yeah, there's definitely diacetyl going on in this one over here. Big, rich, buttery vibes. Along with a relatively thin mouthfeel. And that tropical fruit is, again, there. I go away from the kiwi. I kind of push a little bit more towards a melon character. sweet, not confectionery sweet, not fake sweet, but definitely a little bit more sweetened than a base kind of cantaloupe, kind of honeydew mixture. Yeah, it's kind of very sharp, very individualistic, and that the sweetness, the fruit, diacetyl, they all taste like they're individual components in a mixture. It's not all that cohesive. Let's give the blue-sided whirl. Much nicer mouthfeel. Nice creaminess to it. A soft. Again, I'm getting a melon character. I'm getting a very kind of melon character with a little bit of slightly biting green kind of pininess off it. So this one has really not much as far as the nose goes, but much more kind of cohesive, more integrated kind of flavors going on in the beer itself. A better mouthfeel and a bit more expressive, a bit more in a good way. Kind of nice soft bitterness, nice melon character, a little bit of soft citrus, but it's not a 2x4 to the face of flavor, but it is giving you something that's quite nice, and dare I say unique. It doesn't come off as a generic new school kind of hazy. Super curious as to the dates on these. Super curious. Yeah, I wish I could read that or knew what it meant, because if these are very similar in dates, this one is just kind of going a bit sideways, or this could be a bit older of a beer. Not to say that you can't have flaws in younger beer, but it tastes like maybe if there are flaws in these, maybe they're hashing themselves out over time. But yeah, honestly, in a perfect world, kind of like this nose. Doesn't really, even with that soft diacetyl, I still kind of like this nose because it gives me something where this one's a bit uninspiring. But far and away over here on the blue side of things, I'm getting something a bit more kind of tasty and rich. It does come off with a little bit of soft spiciness, so that kind of Centennial and those older hops are coming through. But I'm not quite sure what that Laurel and that Pacific is kind of given to this beer, but it's quite nice. I like it. It does have a uniqueness to it and a tastiness. And the mouthfeel is much, much better than over here. I think maybe that diacetyl kind of beat this down, gave it that kind of thinness, kind of oily treatment over here. Fun beers. Let's put it that way. I mean, brewery I never had before, never had anything going on. They are skewing a bit sweet, getting a little bit kind of hard candy sweetness, but quite nice. I dig them. I think they're fun. And a fun little side-by-side. So thank you very much, Brandon. Super fun stuff. So let's talk about it. Are these some of the better hazy IPAs I've had as of late? This one, definitely not. There's a bit too much flaws going on in this one to really, for me to kind of wrap my heart around. In this one, it's kind of on the edge. It's not out, it's not in, it's floating around. I like it. I think it's fun. The way the hops show are kind of unique, and that in of itself kind of wants me to put it in there. But there's really not anything just extraordinary about it, so it's quite nice. Let's put it this way. If this is a shelfie in a 6-pack for $14-15, that's pretty good stuff when it comes to the shelfie class. But yeah, fun side-by-side for sure. I don't know anything about value and availability. Brandon, can I chime in on that? And leave you with, if you guys like what will you like these? If you like doing side-by-sides, you'll like these in general. Pick this stuff up. Whether or not this brewery, pick up a brewery's kind of similar beers. Try them side-by-side. It's one of the more funner three-ers on fun things you can do when it comes to beer. It's one of my favorite things to do. I mean, if you just like, new breweries, at least to me, trying to do fun stuff. Sure, they're trying to do the New England style hazy, but they're doing it in a way that is not just, 12-ounce can, unique hops, something I kind of dig, so it works for me. Anyway, there you go. Fun little side-by-side. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little hazy right now. And hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.